AI never sleeps, and this week has been absolutely insane. We have a new 3D model generator, and this is the best one I've seen so far. OpenAI's Sora is finally out, and it is amazing. We have a new AI that can animate images based on how you drag over it. Google releases some huge updates like Gemini 2 and a real-time vision assistant. We have a new AI that creates full comics with multiple panels and consistent characters. We have a new image editor that's blazing fast, and a lot more. So let's jump right in. First up, this has got to be the best AI 3D model generator I've seen yet. It's called Trellis by Microsoft, and best of all, this is free and open source. I'll show you how to use this in a second, but first of all, here are some examples. Note that you can just enter in a prompt and it would create an entire 3D model for you. So for example, here the prompt is vintage copper rotary telephone with intricate detailing. Here is a 2-story brick house with red roof and fence. Here is a spherical robot with gold and silver design. This looks very nice and detailed. It's even able to get more intricate stuff like this ship with copper and brown hues, intricate deck details. This looks even more complex, so here is a Victorian mansion made of stone bricks with ornate trim, bay windows, and a wrap-around porch. Very nice and intricate. Here we have a shiny silver and red motorcycle with a leather seat and chrome accents. Now it doesn't just do prompt to 3D model. Here's an even better feature. You can also upload an image and it would generate an entire 3D model based on the image. So here's an example with this input image. I don't even know what this is, but you can see that it's really hard for AI to predict what's behind the object, given just one image. And this is what a lot of 3D model generators in the past have failed to achieve. But this new Trellis model can handle it beautifully. Here's an even trickier example where the input image is this mecha robot, and again, we're only given the front of this robot in the image, but it's able to kind of guess and create what the back of the robot would look like as well. This is super impressive. Here's another example where the input image is this dragon head. We have no idea what the back of the dragon head would look like, but again, this AI is able to predict and recreate the back of this dragon's head pretty well, as you can see here. Here's another tricky example where the input image is this robot crab, and again, we don't know what the back of the crab would look like, but it's able to guess what that would look like beautifully. And then here's an input image of this cute little anime girl, and again you can see that even though we have no info on what the back of this character would look like, Trellis is able to create this 3D model very well. Even with this really tricky stone creature thing, it's able to generate a 3D model of this beautifully, as you can see here. Now here's an even cooler feature. You can also input an existing 3D model, and with a text prompt, you can edit the appearance of the model. So for example, if the original 3D model looks like this, but you prompt it with rugged metallic texture with orange and white paint finish, this is what you get. Or if you paint it with knitted fabric-like texture with green and purple colors, this is what you get. Or if you prompt it with rugged, metallic, with leather straps and a blue accent resembling a medieval weapon, this is your result. And then finally, if the prompt is transparent, glass-like structure, this is what you get. Here's another example where the 3D model is this circular robot, and if you prompt it with rugged, metallic texture with orange and white paint, this is what you get. If the prompt is knitted fabric-like texture with green and purple colors, this is your result. And then if the prompt is rugged metallic with leather straps, this is what you get. Or if you prompt it with transparent glass-like structure, this is what you get. And we're not even done yet. So the crazy thing is, not only can you just edit the texture of an existing 3D model, you can even add or remove things in the model just by prompting it. So if your input is this mecha robot, and then if you add no arms to the prompt, it removes the arms of the robot. Or if you add with huge beam weapons to the prompt, it adds huge beam weapons, as you can see here. Or if you prompt it with tracked chassis, this is what you get. So this is a super powerful tool. And like I said, the awesome thing is this is free and open source. So at the top of this page contains a GitHub repo, which if you scroll to the bottom, this gives you all the instructions on how to download and run this locally. Or they also offer a Hugging Face demo. So you can actually create 3D models for free on this online platform. And it's pretty intuitive to use. So let's try this out. I'm going to upload a really complex image of this Gundam just to test it out. Let's see if it can actually create a 3D model of this Gundam. And then here are additional settings you can play around with, but I just tend to leave it at the default values, and you just need to click create. So let's see if it can pull this off. I would be pretty impressed if it's able to generate a decent looking 3D model of this Gundam. And oh my gosh, look at this. This is insane. I can't believe it actually generated a decent looking 3D model from just one image of this Gundam. I'm really impressed by this. Let's try something even trickier. So instead of this metallic looking Gundam, let's try an image of this Gundam Wing Zero with these angelic looking wings and see if it can pull it off. Again, I will click generate and see what that gives us. Whoa! Okay, this is just insane. How it's able to generate the back of this Gundam with these angel wings as well as the front. Now, the details of this aren't as good as the previous Gundam that I uploaded, but nevertheless, this is still super impressive. Anyways, the links to everything are all up here, so I'll link to this main page in the description below for you to read further. Okay, next up, this AI is really awesome. It's called Motion Prompting by Google DeepMind, and basically you can just drag any image and it would animate that image according to the path that you dragged. So here's an example where if you just drag this parrot's face around, it would make this parrot move its head. Here's another example with this bear. Here's another example with this pine tree, and another example with this chess piece. Now, the crazy thing is, not only does it just move animals or characters, but it can also move other types of object like sand very realistically, as you can see in this example. This indeed looks like how sand would move. Here's another example showing how it understands the physics of real-world things. So here we can see it moving the smoke around, and indeed, it does look like smoke. Here's another example where you can drag this woman's hair around, and this hair really does move like hair. Here, not only does it move the horse's head, but it has detected that this scene is probably quite windy, so it even makes the horse's hair blow in the wind. But there's even more you can do with this, so you can control the camera movements with this tool as well. So actually what it does first is it estimates the depth of your uploaded image, and then it creates a point cloud, which looks like this. And then you can drag this point cloud around to get the effect you want. So for example, if you drag it like this, you're going to get this dolly zoom effect. Here's another example where if you drag a point cloud like this, you're going to get this really cool zoom effect. Here's another example where again, if you drag the point cloud like this, you'll get this dolly zoom effect. Or if you drag the point cloud like this, you can see it's kind of panning and arcing to the top of the image. Here's another example where if you kind of drag all the other points to the upper left corner, you're going to get an effect like this. Here's another example where if you drag the point cloud like this, you're going to get this really cool like drone video effect. And this opens up so much possibilities. I mean, you can just drag this point cloud into a circle and it would do this. Or here's another example with this circular effect, and you can see it's kind of like panning and moving the camera based on your trajectory. Here's another example where if you drag the camera like this, not only does it move the camera around, but it also animates the elephants to some degree. So notice how the elephant's ears are moving around. And then same with this example, not only are you just changing the camera, but it's also animating the waterfall. Notice how the water is actually flowing in this video. And here are some other examples where you can control specific things in the image, like making just this cat's eye look somewhere else. Here's another example where you're just moving this frog's eye. Here's an even crazier feature. So you can upload a reference video and it would extract the movements of that video and map it onto a different image. Here are some even crazier examples. So if the uploaded reference video is this monkey eating, and then if you input this aerial image of a forest, notice how it's animating the trees based on how the monkey is chewing. This is pretty insane. And then instead of an image of a forest, if you uploaded this brick wall, it also kind of moves this brick wall according to the movements of this monkey. A really uncanny but cool generation. Here's another example where if your uploaded video is this waterfall, and then you upload an image of these autumn trees, you can see the trees are kind of moving in the video according to the reference waterfall video. Or let's say instead of autumn trees, if you upload this image of a school of fish, again, the fish are kind of moving based on this video of a waterfall. This opens up so many creative possibilities. Now, I'm quite early to this at the time of this video. They only have a technical paper out. There's no GitHub or Hugging Face yet, but I'll keep you posted if they do release that. Anyways, I'll link to this page in the description below for you to read further. Next up, this is probably the most exciting update this week. So Google has released some massive announcements. First, they've released Gemini 2.0, and this is one of the smartest, most capable AI models out there. Now, this is natively multimodal, which means it can take in text, images, audio, and video, and also output text, images, audio, or video. And this makes it very flexible. For example, you can just talk to it like a voice assistant, exactly like OpenAI's advanced voice feature. In fact, you can try this out right now. All you have to do is go to Google's AI Studio, which I'll link to in the description below, and this is a platform where you can use a lot of Google's AI features absolutely free. Yes, this is completely free, which is kind of unbelievable. In this create prompt section, you could chat with this like a regular chatbot like ChatGPT, and over here is where you can select the different models. So if you scroll down a bit, note that right now we have selected Gemini 2.0 Flash, which I'll go over in a second. But this is just basic chatbot stuff. Let's try something better. So if you click on Stream Real Time, here is where you can talk to this Gemini AI assistant in real time. Let's give it a try. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?
Can you teach me about machine learning?
I can certainly give you an overview of machine learning. It's a field of artificial intelligence that focuses on enabling computer systems to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. This is done by identifying patterns and making decisions, with increasing accuracy as more data becomes available.
Okay, where should I start?
That's a great question. A good starting point would be to understand the different types of machine learning. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning are some of the common types. You could also look into the different algorithms like linear regression and decision trees.
Okay, tell me more about supervised learning.
Certainly. In supervised learning, the algorithm is trained on a...
Okay, so I'll just pause it there. You can see how you can just talk to this AI assistant for free and learn a lot of stuff. I'll likely do a full video covering AI Studio next week, so stay tuned for that. But here's another crazier thing you can do. You can actually show Gemini your webcam or camera and ask it questions. Now, to do this, I'm actually going to log into my phone. And again, I'm going to go to AI Studio in the Chrome browser on my phone. So same thing, up at the top here is where you can select the model. Of course, we will select the best one, which is Gemini 2.0 Flash. And then in the top menu here, you can again select Stream Real Time. And now instead of Talk to Gemini, what I'm going to do is click on Show Gemini. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help you today?
Hey, can you help me analyze what this is and translate it for me?
Certainly, the image shows a nutrition label on a bag of almonds. The text at the top, "Eat a little every day," is in both English and Chinese, and the title of the food is nuts, with the word nuts in English and Chinese. Below, the nutritional information lists the values per 100 grams of the product in Chinese. The nutritional facts provided include calories, 2,657 kilojoules, protein, 22.1 grams, fat, 52.8 grams, carbohydrates, 19.3 grams, and sodium, 12 milligrams.
Alright, so that was just a really quick demo on what it can do. Again, I'll likely do a full video covering all the cool use cases you can do with AI Studio. And again, this is completely free, which is just amazing. So definitely give this a try. Now here's another cool thing you can do. Again, because this is multimodal, it can understand text and images. So you can upload an image like this and then edit it just by prompting it. So for example, if you prompt it with turn this car into a convertible, this is what you get. Or next, if you prompt it with imagine the car full of beach stuff and change the color to something that feels like summer, explain as you go, this is what you get. Notice not only is it changing the image, but it's also explaining what it's doing step by step. Here, if this is your uploaded image and you prompt it with turn the puffy jacket into a small pillow and remove the blanket, this is what you get. It magically just edits the image based on your prompt. You can also combine images. So here, if the prompt is create a cross stitch of my cat on this pillow, this is what you get. Or here, if the prompt is put a detailed illustration sticker of my cat on my skateboard, this is what you get. And the cat actually looks like the cat in the photo. You can even circle things in the image, and then if you prompt it with open this, for example, you can see it has generated a new image with the car door opened. And then if you prompt it with make the car fly, imagine you are the car soaring through the clouds to the beach, show what that might look like, this is what we get. Now, for your information, this is not the first time we've seen such a tool. So for example, I featured another free and open source AI tool called OmniGen, which does the same thing. So not only can it generate images, but then if you prompt it with remove the woman's earrings, replace the coffee cup with a clear glass filled with cola, it indeed removes her earrings and replaces this cup with a glass of cola. If you want to learn more about OmniGen, definitely check out this video where I do a full tutorial. However, back to Google's Gemini 2 and AI Studio, it's just awesome that they have this feature natively built in. So not only can you chat with it like a chatbot, or talk to it like a voice assistant, but you can also get it to generate and edit images in the same interface. Thanks to our sponsor, Wondershare Virbo. Say goodbye to spending hours filming and editing videos because Wondershare Virbo is about to change the game. This is a powerful AI video maker that can turn text photos or existing videos into pro-looking videos in just minutes. No fancy camera or editing skills required. You can choose from over 300 lifelike avatars to be the face of your videos. Or if you want to use yourself, you can also create your own digital avatar and voice clone. Plus, you can use over 460 natural sounding AI voices in 90 languages. And going multilingual is a piece of cake. With their AI video translator, you can easily translate and dub videos in many languages to expand your reach globally. Also, their talking photo feature is now optimized to support richer upper body movements, so the entire video looks very natural and fluid. But the features don't stop there. Virbo also has an AI scriptwriter that uses GPT to write your video scripts. Plus, there are plenty of AI video templates to help you create content even faster. Here are some ways creators are already using Virbo. You can create a social media channel around any topic like movies, travel, or horror stories, and then use Virbo to mass produce content. You can also translate and dub videos into multiple languages using Virbo to exponentially grow your audience. Whatever your use case is, Virbo just makes it super easy for you to create videos. No more spending countless hours and tons of money on production. Try it for free via the link in the description below. By the way, Google is working on another project called Astra, and this is a real-time assistant, so you can just point your phone to anything and chat with an AI assistant. Here are some wild examples.
Will that bus take me anywhere near Chinatown?
Yes, it does. The 24 bus route goes through Leicester Square, which is very close to Chinatown.
Are there any landmarks on the way?
Riding the number 24 bus, notable landmarks you will likely encounter are Westminster Abbey, Big Ben, and Trafalgar Square.
I'm trying to get a gift for my friend, and this is everything she's been reading. How would you describe her taste in books?
Based on these titles, your friend seems to enjoy a mix of history, biography, and perhaps a touch of political or social commentary.
I picked some of these out. Any idea which one she'd like the most?
Consider Half of a Yellow Sun for its exploration of complex social and political issues within a historical setting, aligning with her interest in narratives that offer insight into significant periods.
I also met up with some friends to test out the multilingual capabilities.
Est-ce que tu peux me dire quelque chose d'intéressant à propos de ces lanternes?
Bien sûr, je peux vous parler des lanternes. Les lanternes que vous voyez font partie de la porte d'entrée de Chinatown à Londres. Elles ont une signification culturelle pour les Chinois et sont souvent utilisées pendant les célébrations et les festivals. நிச்சயமாக இது லண்டனில் உள்ள Chinatown நுழைவாயில் இது ஒரு குறிப்பிடத்தக்க அடையாளமாகும். இது அந்த பகுதியின் கலாச்சார முக்கியத்துவத்தை குறிக்கிறது.
Anyways, back to Gemini. Note that Google only released Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental this week. And Flash is the smallest model in the Gemini family. Just so you're aware, the Gemini family consists of the Flash version and the Pro version, which is larger and more performant. And then we also had an Ultra version, which is even bigger, but it seems like they removed any mention of the Ultra models for now. So this is just a tiny model, and you can be sure that 2.0 Pro would be way better. But here's the crazy thing. Even with just a tiny Flash model, this Gemini 2.0 has already shot up to number 3 in this chatbot leaderboard, just slightly behind these two Gemini experimental models and the latest version of GPT-4o. So this is pretty insane progress. I mean, I remember a year ago, Gemini was pretty bad and it produced a lot of woke content, so people were kind of hating it, but the tables have indeed turned. I think Google has definitely caught up to OpenAI, and I think they will even surpass OpenAI. I mean, just look at how many of these Gemini models are at the top of the leaderboard. Alright, next up, this AI allows you to create comics or manga just from text descriptions. It's called DiffSensei, and here's why this is so revolutionary. Now, there are already a few of these comic generators that I featured before on this channel, but this is the first one that has decent character control. In other words, you can generate consistent characters in your comics. Plus, you can also customize their expressions, poses, and actions. Plus, you can generate multiple pages with multiple panels. So here are some examples. Here, if the prompt is a character in a dynamic battle scene and you upload this image of your character, it actually generates an entire page with multiple panels of this battle scene based on your uploaded character. Here's another example. Let's say for the prompt, you put the boy and the man solved the mysterious case. And here's a photo of a man and here's a photo of the boy that you uploaded. It actually generates an entire page with multiple panels with this man and this boy. Now note that the text is just gibberish, but you can easily get ChatGPT to write a script for you and replace the text in these panels. So here's another anime style, and here if the prompt is a boy and a girl are exploring in the deep mountain jungle, along the way they prepared a big meal to satisfy their hunger. Again, it generates an entire page while keeping the style that you uploaded and keeping these two characters consistent. Plus, indeed, they are exploring this deep mountain jungle and they are preparing a big meal. Here's another example. In a crowded classroom, students are talking about their new English teacher, and then you upload 4 images of these 3 students and this hot teacher, and indeed, it's able to generate a page with this story. How insane is that? Here, if the prompt is a girl hears something at the dark corridor but finds the classroom empty, and you upload this reference image of the girl, this is what you get. So this is a super powerful way to prototype your comics. And note that not only does it create just one page, you can create multiple pages. So here's a really cool example. If the prompt is story of Hinton, LeCun, and Bengio winning the Nobel Prize, and then you upload these 3 folks, here's the story. Note that the dialogues are post-edited because this comic generator only generates gibberish text, so you need to get like an AI to actually generate a dialogue. Anyways, here's the first page. A sunny day in Jan LeCun's house. Someone is in a hurry, and then Hinton appears. Hey, feeling any better? This is probably Jan LeCun. Much better now, the flowers are lovely. And then Hinton replies, I got a research mission, and I need you to do it. And then they do some more talking, and then Jan LeCun replies, so when do we start? And then Hinton, with this crazy face, says, this research won't be as simple as you think. Doing research is like a war, etc., etc., etc. And then LeCun is like, I would like to do it. Anyways, this story is actually super long with 9 pages, so I'll just link to this page in the description below. If you're curious, you can read further. Anyways, how this works is the researchers actually trained this AI on a massive data set called Manga Zero, which contains over 43,000 manga pages and over 427,000 annotated panels. And of course, after training the AI on this dataset, it's now really good at generating different varieties of manga. The awesome thing is the code is already out. So at the top here, you can click on this GitHub repo, which contains all the instructions on how to install this locally on your computer. Anyways, I'll link to this main page in the description below where you can read further. Next up, we have this new AI called MMAudio, which can generate high quality audio that syncs to any video. So you can simply input a video and it would generate the audio for the video. Here are some examples. So note that the original videos have no audio. After plugging it into this AI, here's what it sounds like. Here's another example of a silent audio clip. After plugging it into this AI, here's what that sounds like. Here's another example of a silent video clip. Here's the audio that was generated with this AI. Note that these videos were made by Sora, so they have no audio. But after plugging these videos into MMAudio, here's what it sounds like. And not only can you just enter a video, but you can also add a text prompt to guide the audio generation further. So this enables a lot of creativity. Anyways, I'll link to this GitHub page in the description below, which contains instructions on how to install and run this locally. In addition to running this locally, they also have a Hugging Face demo and a collab. So if I click on Hugging Face, there's a free Hugging Face space, which you can try out. Next up, this tool is also pretty amazing. It's called SwiftEdit, and this is free and open source. You can edit any image just by prompting it. Now, again, I featured other tools like OmniGen and also Google's Gemini 2, which can do the same thing, but this one is blazing fast, and that's why it's called SwiftEdit. So here are some examples. Let's say you upload this original image of a dog, and for example, if you add with mouth opened, in just a few seconds, here's what you get. So this is blazing fast. Or instead, if you type in cat on grass field, this is what you get. If you type in lion, this is what you get. Or let's try husky, and this is what you get. Or fox, and we have a fox. And note that again, this is blazing fast. So let's try another example. If we upload this woman, and then let's turn her into an old woman, here's what we get. Or let's turn her into Taylor Swift, and here's what we get. Or let's make it a smiling woman, and this is what we get. There's also additional settings you can edit, like the strength, so how much you want to change this image based on your new prompt. And again, note that as we click edit, the image edits in like only 2 seconds. So this is really fast. Okay, let's try angry now. And again, let's set the strength to 0.6 first. So it'll be like this. And if we set it to 1.8, then you can see she's a lot angrier. Or here's another example. Let's turn this dog into a cat. And here's what we get. Or if we turn it into a white cat, this is what we get. Or if we want to make a black cat, this is what you get. Or let's try a horse or a bear or a husky. So again, a really flexible tool, and yes, it works with real people and celebrities too. So if this is the source image and you prompt it with Beckham, this is what you get. Or if you prompt it with Ronaldo, this is what you get. And here's Tom Cruise and here's Chris Evans. Now you can even add additional prompts to this. So if it's Beckham smiling, this is what you get. And here's Ronaldo smiling, here's Tom Cruise smiling, here's Chris Evans smiling. And instead of smiling, if you want to make them angry, well, here's what you get. So a super powerful and versatile tool. Now at the top of this page, if you click on this GitHub button, it actually just takes you back to this page. So it looks like they have not released any GitHub repo or checkpoints yet, but I'll keep you posted once they do release this. For now, I'm just going to link to this page in the description below for you to read further. And last but not least, Sora has finally been released this week. This is the long-awaited video generator from OpenAI, which claims to be really good quality. Now, I'm just going to show you a few examples here, and indeed, the quality is really good. As you can see, the details are super sharp, everything looks super consistent, and it does understand the physics of real-world things like snow or smoke or reflections of water. Now, keep in mind that the examples I'm showing you right now are pretty slow moving, right? These are just really simple videos of simple zooming or panning or someone walking slowly. And again, most of the top video generators can already handle this. Though I must say, Sora does have the best definition and quality. Sora can also generate complex scenes like this with a lot of people and a lot of action. Here's another chaotic example with a lot of people and a lot of things in the scene, but it's able to generate this pretty well. Note that with so many people, there are inconsistencies at times, but this is noticeably better than other video generators we've seen before, like Runway, which has a lot of warping and inconsistencies, especially if you have a lot of people in the scene. Here's another example of a generation of this army marching in the desert. And again, even with a lot of people, it's able to generate this pretty consistently, although note that the horses on the left are pointing the wrong way. So it's not perfect yet. In fact, I'll talk about some problems with its understanding of anatomy in a second. Here's another example of a very busy video with a lot of people. The camera is moving around everywhere, but again, it's able to handle this very smoothly and consistently. So I must say, this is better than what we've seen from other video generators before. It's also great at handling these zoom in shots like this. Notice how sharp and high definition this video is, especially as you zoom into the cat, you can clearly see the fur on its face and the whiskers. This looks amazing. And in case you were wondering, yes, this can generate anime too, as you can see in this example. And again, the quality of this anime is noticeably better than what we've seen from other video generators. Now, that being said, it still sucks at generating human anatomy, especially for uncommon poses. So for example, if you get it to generate this gymnastics performance, then there's going to be a lot of uncanny things going on in this video. Here's another example of a blooper. So if you get it to generate this gymnastics performance, it gives you this. So again, not great for uncommon poses or high action scenes like this. And if you get it to generate a diving performance at the Olympics, here's what we get. Not exactly the most accurate diving performance, if I must say so myself. And here's a woman doing yoga, according to Sora. Again, you can see a lot of uncanny stuff and inconsistencies going on. There's a lot of extra limbs. Her limbs are disappearing, reappearing. It just looks pretty weird. So yeah, it's still not great at handling human anatomy, which is surprising. I mean, AI video and images can generate so much stuff, but it just fails at understanding more uncommon poses like yoga or gymnastics. And for your reference, here's a comparison with Sora against the best open source video generator out there, Hunyuan, which I featured a few days ago. Definitely check this out if you haven't already. So here's one comparison using the same prompt, and you can see Sora is definitely higher detail. I would say the colors are a lot more saturated and higher contrast. Here the prompt is a woman crying with tears on her face, and as you can see, Sora can't really handle more extreme expressions. It just looks like a woman daydreaming, whereas Hunyuan can actually generate a woman crying with a really sad expression. Here's another comparison, where the prompt is a baby swimming underwater, and you can see both of them can handle it pretty well. Although for Sora, I'm not sure why it's like generating splashes in the water. I don't think that's physically correct. Plus those toys don't really look accurate. I would have to say Hunyuan looks better in my opinion, except for the lower contrast in color. Here the prompt is a dog running and fighting with a cat on the lake, and you can see with Sora, it couldn't even generate a cat. It generated 2 dogs, whereas Hunyuan could at least generate a cat. Here the prompt is 2 samurai fighting in a Japanese garden. And as you can see, with complex fight scenes like this, Sora and many other top video generators could not actually get the anatomy correct. They either cannot get 2 people to fight, or if they do fight, then their limbs kind of just warp, and there's a lot of inconsistencies going on, as you can see here. But actually, Hunyuan surprisingly handles this very well. But I mean, text to video is just one feature in Sora. Here's another even cooler feature. You can do video to video. In other words, you can input a video like this puppet at the top, and then with a prompt, you can create a new video based on your reference video, as you can see in these examples. Or let's say you've generated a low resolution video from another AI generator in the past. Well, you can also plug that video into Sora, and it would make it a lot higher quality, as you can see in these examples. I mean, this is a super useful tool for retouching and adding more details to existing videos. Here's another cool example where the user just inputs this reference video of him holding scissors, and then if you prompt it with a crane's head or something, this is the resulting video. So you can get very creative with this video-to-video tool. Here's another crazy example where you can just take a video of a Barbie doll and then plug it through Sora's video-to-video and it would generate a real person. How insane is that? Anyways, I will definitely do a full review and tutorial on Sora in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you can access Sora at sora.com, which I'll link to in the description below, where you can log in or sign up for an account. But once you do, note that you do need to pay to access Sora. So if you're on an existing ChatGPT Plus plan, then congrats, you can already use this. But if not, you need to pay a minimum of $20 per month, and this gives you up to 50 videos at 720p resolution, and each video is 5 seconds. Or you can pay the ChatGPT Pro plan, which by the way includes unlimited access to O1, O1 Pro, advanced voice mode, etc. But in terms of Sora, you can also generate unlimited videos at up to 1080p resolution and 20 seconds in duration. Anyways, again, the site is sora.com. I'll link to it in the description below, and I will definitely do a full review video on this next, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, that sums up all the highlights in AI this week. Let me know what you think of all of this. Which tool are you most excited to try out? As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.